The Mosquito Fire has now burned about 30,000 acres in El Dorado and Placer counties. Steep terrain and changing winds have made the fire difficult to slow down. Right now, it's still at 0% containment. Thousands of people have been forced to leave their homes. Others have been kept from returning home by police barricades. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Painter. We continue to cover the Mosquito Fire at this hour. For the latest on the fire and resources, you can use your phone to scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen throughout our newscast. Now, here's a look at some of the communities under mandatory evacuations and evacuation warnings so far. Thousands of buildings are threatened in the areas of Forest Hill, Georgetown, Volcanoville, and Quinette, among other communities. We have crews all over Placer and El Dorado counties tonight, keeping track of the flames and the evacuation efforts. We start with Kurt Rivera, who joins us live from Georgetown in El Dorado County. He talked with families who refuse to leave. Kurt.
Hi, Laura. We are on Main Street in Georgetown, and the sky all around us, take a look, is filled with heavy smoke. But it's not quite a ghost town here. As fire creeps closer to the historic Gold Rush community of Georgetown, Mike Brown is trimming a backyard tree, doing all he can to lessen the chances the fire will burn his home of 30 years.
We've had many fires around this area, but this is the one that seems to be the most scary.
Still, the retired school teacher and his daughter, also a teacher, are staying put. Their cars are packed, his truck filled with precious family photos.
So we're as packed as we can be, but my goal is to leave as late as possible.
I think the most important thing for me is knowing that my family is safe, my animals are safe, and my students are going to be okay.
Across the street, Terry Robinson is staying too.
I've lived here all my life. I was born and raised here, so I'm just like, this is my home, and I have no place to go. So.
A few miles away in Volcanoville, Cal Fire Conservation Corps crews kept the road clear for fire crews. In town, we witnessed minimal damage. This storage shed destroyed, but the home next to it still intact. Here at the Otter Creek School in Volcanoville, you can see just how dangerously close the fire came to the school. The building is still standing, but firefighters were able to make a stand just a few feet away from where the flames were. And while we were there, this storage shed next to the school suddenly went up in flames, but firefighters from Denair quickly put it out.
All of our cats and dogs are up there in the house.
We also witnessed the urgency and desperation from residents preparing to get out. Mike Dietz says he was in a warning zone, not a mandatory evacuation zone, but he was stopped at a CHP checkpoint after he left his home and not allowed to go back in.
Everything's packed up and ready to go. We just came to get hay for the horses.
And by the way, Mike Dietz called the sheriff's department, and they were going to have a sheriff's deputy escort him back into his home. Now I want to grab your attention and take a look at your screen, because tonight there will be a town hall meeting that will take place in Placerville on the Mosquito Fire. It will include the El Dorado County Sheriff, the U.S. Forest Service, and Cal Fire. It is at 6:30 at Sutter's Mill School in Placerville. We're live in Georgetown tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, Kirk, you can really hear the desperation in those people's voices there. Heartbreaking images as well. Thank you. Now, as we mentioned, this fire is threatening homes in both El Dorado and Placer counties. Now we go to Brandon Ritteman, who drove all over the fire area and tells us more about how things are looking in Forest Hill.
Over here on the Placer County side of this fire, we have seen some positive signs. Unfortunately, downhill from where I'm standing is Michigan Bluff, and we did see some structures lost there over the last day. But there is some positive news uphill. The community, the larger community of Forest Hill, is untouched right now. And that's really, really impressive considering that this fire wanted to burn uphill. You can see that from this vantage point, they were able to use this road as an effective fire break. That doesn't always work in the kind of conditions, these dry, hot conditions that we've been having. And part of the reason that it did is what you see uphill right here, where they have just been absolutely tearing into this highly overgrown forest with dozers, just sort of quickly piling fuel to the side as they can, but getting as much bare mineral dirt as possible. This is just one method they've been using along Forest Hill Road. We also saw that they had just been spraying fire retardant to the side of the road. They're also using other machines to try to just chop out as much of the vegetation as they can. So far, that seems to be holding for the community of Forest Hill, but it's still going to be a long time before anyone within a close proximity to this fire is going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief. In Placer County, Brandon Ritteman, ABC 10 News.
And just a few hours ago, the governor announced the state has secured federal assistance to help contain the mosquito fire. It comes in the form of a fire management assistant grant from FEMA. The announcement did not say exactly how much money was in the grant or what it'll be used for. We turn now to meteorologist Devin Tooby. You are also tracking the conditions as well, and you're saying the heat and the wind still making a problem for the firefight.
Absolutely. Current temperature there 98 degrees, so very hot as well. And the wind's about 5 to 10 miles per hour for us. And even the overnight low was only 73, making for a very hot firefight last night. So let's take a look. Our reporters have done a great job of taking you inside the fire. But as we look at it from far away, you see it started in the bottom of the canyon and really worked its way up to Forest Hill. Again, approximately 30,000 acres. And the main thing from this fire is it is destroying air quality for us. Very unhealthy air quality conditions. The darker the color, the worse it is. We even see haze right now in the Central Valley Forest. We are concerned about potentially some high school football games maybe being delayed as well due to our weather quality and air quality in terms of places of Roseville, Placerville, things like that as well. The Gilmore backyard showing us a little bit of that haze. Current temperature in Sacramento is still 105, as well as Stockton, Marysville 102, and in Tahoe is still hot, 82 as well. Temperatures, though, about 7 degrees cooler today than yesterday, and we are expecting a big cool down on the way. Temperatures in the 90s, even the 80s for the rest of our weekend, so just hang in there one more day. So I know you can stay on that Flex Alert plan by cranking your AC, because that cool down, it's on the way for us, Laura.
Yeah, and it has been an extremely tough week. Devin, thank you. Attorney General Rob Bonta is warning Californians to watch out for price gouging as people evacuate. He issued a consumer alert stating raising the cost of essentials like groceries or gas during a state of emergency is illegal. In a statement, Bonta said, quote, "I urge all Californians to heed evacuation orders, lend a helping hand where they can, and report price gouging when they see it. If you think that you've been a victim to price gouging, you should report it to your local law enforcement or to the Office of the Attorney General's website."